Published 0617 EDT, the 12th of September 2017. Updated 0703 EDT, the 12th of September 2017. In among all the text messages flying around between journalists in the midst of the Neymar transfer saga this summer, one received just after the Brazilian finally signed for Paris Saint-Germain was as cruel as it was perceptive. It simply read, "Poor Unai. If PSG's very likable Spanish coach Unai Emery was left clinging on to his job last season when he failed to win Ligue 1 and allowed his team to let a 40 lead slip against Barcelona in the Champions League, however was he going to keep it now with Neymar on board and pulling all the strings?" The Brazilian player and his sizable entourage, headed up by his dad Neymar Snr, will be calling for a new manager to be brought in as soon as you can say Phil Scolari, Paris Saint-Germain boss Unai Emery takes the walk on the Celtic Park pitch on Monday night. Neymar's arrival at PSG could complicate Emery's future at the club if things are not going well. Emerys' occasional tendency to rub players up the wrong way was never a problem at Sevilla and Valencia because he was dealing with a more modest level of star, and the impressive performances he got out of those players covered a multitude of dressing room annoyances. Now it's hard to see how his management style will work as effectively with Neymar and Kylian Mbappe looking on. But perhaps we should not be too hasty to write off Emery. He is a football survivor. He lasted almost 4 years at Valencia, which is about 8 times as long as most coaches last there, and he weathered the storm last season when Nasser Al-Khelaifi was being urged to get rid of him. Emery is also very good at organizing his team defensively. The 51 defeated the Nou Camp apart, and it would appear to follow that if PSG are hard to break down this season and then have Neymar and Mbappe up front, they ought to be close to unstoppable. It is going to be fun finding out. Emery has come a long way from a modest playing career and humble coaching beginnings that eventually saw him overachieve at Almeria, then Valencia and then Sevilla. Young striker Kylian Mbappe gives a thumbs up as he arrives at Celtic Park on Monday evening. Emery greets Neymar during a training session ahead of Tuesday's Champions League clash as an intense individual. Some players have found that intensity exasperating. Of the bombardment of information that he gives his players about opponents, his former winger Joachim once said, "There were so many videos I ran out of popcorn." There's also the story of Emery once suspecting that French defender Jeremy Mathieu wasn't watching any of the videos he was giving him. To catch him out, he gave him a blank one before one match and then asked the player if he had found the scouting information helpful. Sure enough, the player told him that yes, had watched it and it was very insightful. Will he be wise enough to ease back on the tactical bombardment, or will he be shoving notes under Neymar's pillow regarding the weaknesses of the right back while be marking him in the next game? He does have personality on his side. There's an infectious positivity about him that helped him take Sevilla to 3 Europa League finals. Emery enjoyed success at Sevilla, winning the Europa League 3 times, including in 2015. The Spaniard is known to be an intense individual, but he is positive and likable too. To win something and share it with the fans is the greatest feeling there is in football, he told Sportsmail in an interview before lifting the 3rd Europa League trophy. He disliked the idea that some big clubs have that certain trophies were beneath them and that they should only focus on the big prize. Of course, now the big prize, the Champions League, is all that matters. He used to say at Sevilla, it's the competing that keeps them happy. Fans want their emotions to come to the surface, and the only way to make that happen is to give them a team that transmits emotion, intensity, attacking, scoring goals, competing, fighting. That will not be enough at PSG. They have to win things this season to even come close to justifying the huge outlay on the 2 new forwards. Emery has never worked with this quality of player before. One of his greatest achievements at Sevilla was getting the best out of Jose Antonio Reyes. Neymar trains alongside Thiago Silva on Monday before jetting to Glasgow to face Celtic. Emery is under pressure to challenge for the Champions League in his second season at PSG. When I came here, the supporters said to me, "Please don't play Reyes." I said to him, "Jose, do you know what they're saying about you? We worked on it." And now every time he goes out at the Sanchez Pizjuan, the crowd are chanting Reyes, Reyes, he proudly said during his time at the club. But just because he has never managed one of the world's best does not mean he will not be able to. Emery has been surprising people throughout his career. He has worked hard to get this chance too. Sometimes top players want proactive coaches. They don't want to be told how they could improve the free kick technique, but they do want the man in the technical area who has 1,000 answers for every question that might pose itself during a game. Emery has always been a problem solver. If he can get off to a good start and win things in his first season, his star players need never be a problem for him.